Fall 7 times, stand up 8, a simple sentence, a Japanese proverb. But in recovery, it's not poetry. It's a blueprint for survival. Because if you're watching this, chances are you've fallen. Maybe more than 7 times. Maybe you've lost count. Maybe you're exhausted from picking yourself up, only to feel the ground rush back up at you again. And maybe part of you is wondering if standing up one more time is even worth it. Let me tell you something straight. The fact that you're still here means you already know the answer. Recovery is not a straight line. It is not clean. It is not polite. It is not a before and after picture you hang on a wall and smile at. Recovery is messy. It's painful. It's humbling. It's waking up some mornings feeling strong and other mornings feeling like the weight of everything you've ever done is sitting on your chest. And yet, recovery is one decision repeated over and over again: to stand up. You fell? Good. That means you tried. You failed? Good. That means you're alive. You're tired? Good. That means you've been fighting. Most people never fight this hard for anything in their entire lives. Here's the truth nobody likes to say out loud. Falling does not disqualify you from recovery. Falling is part of it. Slipping does not erase your progress. Struggling does not mean you're weak. It means you're human. It means you are rewiring habits, chemistry, trauma, and identity all at once. That is not a small task. That is a war. And wars aren't won without casualties. They aren't won without setbacks. They aren't won without moments where you're on your knees wondering if you have anything left. But this proverb doesn't say never fall. It says stand up 8. That extra time matters. Anyone can stand up when it's easy. Anyone can feel motivated on day 1. Anyone can promise the world when the pain is fresh and the hope is loud. But standing up after the 7th fall, when the shame is heavy, when the voices in your head are cruel, when you're embarrassed, when you feel like you've disappointed everyone again. That's where recovery is forged. Standing up that 8th time is not about pride. It's about defiance. Defiance against the version of you that gave up. Defiance against the lie that says you're broken beyond repair. Defiance against a system, a substance, a past that tried to take everything from you. Every time you stand back up, you are telling the truth out loud with your actions. I am still here. And as long as I'm still here, this story is not over. Recovery is not about never wanting to escape. It's about choosing not to, even when you do. It's about learning to sit with discomfort instead of running from it. It's about learning that pain doesn't kill you, but avoiding it almost did. And yes, sometimes standing up looks heroic. Sometimes it looks like walking into a meeting when you don't want to speak. Sometimes it looks like making a phone call you're scared to make. Sometimes it looks like starting over again, with less ego and more honesty than the last time. Sometimes standing up doesn't look strong at all. Sometimes it looks shaky. Sometimes it looks angry. Sometimes it looks quiet. Sometimes it looks like simply not using today. And that is enough. There is a dangerous myth out there that recovery only counts if it's perfect. That if you stumble, you've failed. That if you don't do it exactly right, you don't deserve to keep going. That myth has buried more people than substances ever did. Recovery is not a performance. It is not a competition. It is not a purity test. It is a practice. You don't get better by pretending you're invincible. You get better by being honest when you're not. You get better by asking for help before pride destroys you again. You get better by standing up one more time than you fall. That extra time is where growth lives. Every fall teaches you something if you're willing to listen. It teaches you where your boundaries are. It teaches you what triggers you ignored. It teaches you which supports you didn't use. And if you're brave enough to learn instead of punish yourself, that fall becomes fuel instead of proof that you're hopeless. Shame wants you to stay down. Hope wants you to get up. And hope doesn't scream. Hope whispers. Sometimes it whispers so quietly you can barely hear it. It sounds like, just try again. It sounds like one more day. It sounds like, you don't have to fix everything, just don't quit. At Hopetown, we believe recovery is built in community, not isolation. No one stands up alone forever. At some point, you need someone to reach down and remind you who you are when you forget. That is not weakness. That is wisdom. You weren't meant to do this alone. You were never meant to be perfect. You were meant to be persistent. Fall 7 times. Stand up 8. Stand up when it's inconvenient. Stand up when you're embarrassed. Stand up when you're angry at yourself. Stand up when the past tries to convince you it owns you. Because here's something powerful. Every time you stand back up, you're not starting from zero. You're starting from experience, from scars, from lessons learned the hard way. You are stronger than the version of you that fell, even if it doesn't feel like it yet. Recovery doesn't erase your past. It reclaims your future. And one day, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, you'll look back at the falls that almost broke you and realize they built you instead. They taught you resilience. They taught you humility. They taught you compassion for others who are still on the ground. That's how hope spreads. Not through perfection, through perseverance. So if today is a standing day, stand tall. If today is a crawling day, crawl. If today is a barely holding on day, hold on. Just don't stay down. Fall 7 times, stand up 8. And if you have to stand up 100 times, then do it 101. Your life is worth that effort. Your recovery is worth that fight. And as long as you're breathing, you still have one more stand left in you.